ذرية ضعافا خافوا عليهم فليتقوا الله وليقولوا قولا سديدا إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al-Imran, Surah Nisa. My tongue is still fixed on Surah Al-Imran. Anyway, Surah Nisa, we are doing Ayah 7, Ayah 8, 9 and 10. And these 10 ayat complete the first ruku of Surah Nisa. The general scheme of this ruku has been talking about yatama, their rights, and inheritance, particularly the rights of inheritance of women in whatever is left behind by the deceased. Last week we had said in Ayah 7, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had said that there is rights of men and women, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given a clear ruling on who is going to get from the inheritance of the deceased. Now this ayah talks about those people إِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ أُولُو الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, when if the relatives who are not heirs, so there's relatives who are not technically going to get a share inheritance, those kind of relatives, and the orphans and the needy, again those kind of people who are not technically going to get a share, those kind of people, be them orphans, needy or relatives, they come, إِذَا حَضَرَ, they are present at the time of distribution. When the inheritance is being distributed, these kind of people are also there. Give them some of it. فَارْزُقُوهُمْ مِنْ, give them some of it. وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, and say to them a nice word. Speak to them in fair words. So there's two kinds of ahkamat in the Quran. One are the absolute orders of faraiz and wajibat. The others are istihbabi ahkamat, which are mustahab, which are, if you do them, they are great. If you don't do them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not technically going to hold you responsible. How do we find out which is which? Through the knowledge of the Quran itself and through the knowledge of hadith. The Prophet ﷺ has explained those things, that this ayah talks about an order that if you do it, it's mustahab, those kind of things. So this ayah is the example of an istihbabi hukum, something that if you do it, that's great, a recommended thing to do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do it, it's recommended. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not commanding you, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to absolutely do it, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recommending and telling you and encouraging you to do it. So if those kind of people who for any reason, maybe they thought that they will have a share, or maybe they just came to express their need, if they are there at the time of distribution, and when the people who are supposed to technically be getting a share, don't leave these people deprived, give them some of it. How? But the ulama have explained it. They will not be given directly from the inheritance, because the next ayah explains it. Let me explain the command first. The hukum is that when the people who are going to inherit whatever they are going to inherit, they have got it. Now the recommendation is for those people that whatever mal they have got as a sadaqah, it is encouraged for them, it is better for them that they also give some of it to the people who are there who do not have a right. Not directly from the mal of the deceased, from the wealth of the deceased, but when the distribution has been done, then from your individual share as a sadaqah, as a mustahab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recommending and encouraging that the people give some of it to the people who are there. وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, and say to them nice things. Say to them, do not dishearten them. Do not dishearten them. Never dishearten a needy person. This is a general ruling. Whenever somebody comes asking you something, do not turn them away scoldingly. Whenever somebody is in need, do not dishearten them. If you're not able to give them anything, the recommendation is that give them dua. Give them dua. قُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, say to them, speak to them in fair words and good words. Explain it to them nicely that they do not have a share. Or at least say something nice to them. وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Those people should be fearful in their behavior towards orphans. So those people who are getting the share of inheritance, they should fear Allah, they should be afraid in their behavior towards orphans, those needy orphans or people who have come and do not have a share, if they leave behind some helpless children of their own, if they leave behind some helpless children of their own, and they would remain anxious for them. So anybody, the time of need could strike anyone. Hazrat Mufassirin have explained it this way, that when you are getting something and you are getting it out of no effort of yours, somebody has died that you were near to, or so you did not earn that wealth, right? You did not do anything for it, and you are getting it out of, without any struggle, then remember and be nice to the people who are needy and who are there. And be afraid that your children might also run into that kind of a situation when they are needy and they are expecting something and they do not have a share in that. So yes, they technically don't have a share, but be nice to them, and if it is possible for you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is encouraging us to give something to them. So they should fear Allah and say what is right. فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. The other thing is that to deprive people, other people's children of their rightful inheritance and capturing their inheritance, these people should be afraid of their own children, that when they die, their children will be left in need and someone else might come, just like you are doing it today. Someone else might come and take all of your wealth and leave your children deprived. The last ayah of the ruku is إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا. Those people, the gist of the meaning is that without doubt those people who are in a way of zulm, unjustly, devouring or eating, يَأْكُلُون, akal is basically eating. يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى, those who are eating the wealth of orphans, zulman, unjustly. What will be a way of doing it properly? When you are taking care of their needs and spending their wealth on them, or when you are yourself needy and you are taking your haqqul khidmat, your right of service that was explained last time, that is permissible. Apart from that, it is eating the mal of yatama or orphans zulman, unjustly. إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا, surely they are devouring fire they are putting fire in their stomachs. وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا, and they shall soon enter a blazing hellfire. In the previous days as well, we've mentioned, and the Prophet ﷺ has said, there's several narrations to this effect. The Prophet ﷺ has said that the worst of devouring something unjustly is the wealth of a woman, or the wealth of a yatim. The Prophet ﷺ has said that on the Day of Judgment, there will be a few people who will be brought before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the effect of this fire in their stomach. Their nose will be erupting smoke, and their ears will be erupting smoke, and they will be burning from inside under the effect of this fire. One thing that the ulama have mentioned, and this is a constant masala, is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that they are basically eating fire. They are eating fire. Ulama have explained, and this is actually driven from the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا, that on the Day of Judgment, in Jannah and in the hellfire, people will actually see their a'mal. وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا. So the thing is that whatever we are doing, its form may be different, but in reality every sin is fire, and every good deed or virtue is a good thing in Jannah. Its form is different. We perceive it as differently right now, but from this ayah and from وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا, the reality of every sin is fire, and the reality of every good deed is a beautiful thing in Jannah. Alright? So it is just like when somebody calls poison death. Right? Is poison itself death? No. Or somebody calls poison a killer. Yes, it is a killer, but the form is different, right? For example, the lighter that we use, you can call it is fire. You tell a child it is fire. Is it fire in reality? No. But it has the capacity to produce fire. So there's two meanings attached to it. Number one is that in reality that this is fire. If somebody is eating the wealth of orphans unjustly, it is fire. Although they perceive it differently here in this world, in the hereafter they will find it in its real shape and form. The other thing is that the other meaning is that it is going to lead to fire. And this is said in the last two words of the ayah, وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا, they will also enter a blazing hell soon. Very soon they are going to find out the reality of what they are doing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us action upon the Quran and create a good effect of whatever we said and heard on our hearts. Allahumma ja'alna min ahli al-Quran alladhi ahluka wa khassatuk. Sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi sayyidina wa mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ameen bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.